I just saw an Xbox get sold on DealDash for less than $40 and an expensive knife set being sold for just 25 cents. Sounds crazy, right? But before you rush to grab your 90% off deal, there's something you really need to understand. Because while some people are winning, others are losing money without realizing it. So is DealDash legit and a genius hack, or is it just a cleverly disguised trap? That's exactly what we'll talk about in this video. In case you don't know, my name is Michael and I have tested hundreds of different ways to make money online, including many great ways to save money, because money saved is money earned, right? And then I came across DealDash, and it is one of those platforms that looks too good to be true, and maybe that's because for many people it kind of is. And in this DealDash review, I'm going to break down exactly how it works. I will show you why those big wins can be so tempting and reveal the hidden cost that most people overlook. I'll also go over who this might actually be worth it for and who should probably stay far away from it. Because while DealDash is legit, it's not what most people think. So let's get into it. So what is DealDash and what's the overall idea behind it? Well, it is a penny auction site, and you can see all the items they have on auction. They have a lot of them all the time, and each bid increases the price by 1 cent and extends the timer slightly. You can see that all the time there is 9 seconds added, because whenever somebody bids, the price increases by 1 cent and the timer goes back up there, see, to 9, and it increased here because someone bids in the last second before the timer runs out. But if no one new bids before the clock runs out, then the last bidder wins. And that means that for just one bid, for example, you can potentially end up getting some really great rewards. But there are more to it than just this. Because first of all, to get started, you need to buy bids. And you can buy the bids, you can see here, with credit card or PayPal, and there are often sales from what I have seen on these bids. Right now, for example, I have a sale here where I could get 235 bids. I would have to pay $23.50, so that would be 10 cents each. But I have also seen them as low, for example, on sale for example, 7 cents, but also I've seen them often being around 13, 14 cents, but sometimes also more. So that, for example, means that if you're really lucky or really good and you just use a couple of bids to win an expensive product, you can see that then you can potentially maybe even get something for 10 cents, 20 cents or something like that. So this all sounds very appealing and tempting, especially when you look at some of the winners, because they do have a list of some of the previous winners or within the last 48 hours. As you can see, for example, here there was this guitar, the electric guitar, where the final bid was only $2.25 there. Nintendo Switch console there, less than $5 there. You can see here a clock, all kind of different things there that are sold very cheaply. But there is a catch you need to be aware of. So let's talk about that next. So the catch on DealDash is that people who don't win, they lose their bids. So that means that they can end up spending a lot and end up with nothing. And this is where many end up losing money, not from the price of the item itself, but from the sunk bid costs. And all this is possible because of some psychological tactics you need to be aware of. And I just want to spend a bit of time explaining these because it is so important to understand. And after that, we will then go over which items are the only one that I would personally consider bidding on here and how I would do it. So when it comes to DealDash, you need to be aware of some of these psychological tactics, because we are all affected by them. But by being aware, whether it's on DealDash or on other deals we see in real life or online, it can help us to not make potentially big mistakes. And the first one we can call the sunk cost fallacy. So once you spend money on bids, for example, it's hard to walk away. So an example can, for example, be that you've already used 200 bids to try to win an item, and that's around $28 or so. If we say that the bid is around 14 cents, again, the price for that can go up and down depending on when you buy them. But in a case like this, where you, for example, spend 200 bids, then many people keep bidding because they feel like they've already invested too much to quit. And in reality, the smart move might be to stop, but your brain just says, don't waste what you have already spent. And the second tactic is bidding wars and escalation, because as auctions go on, people get emotionally attached to winning more than they care about the actual product in some cases. So you're no longer bidding just for a deal, you are bidding because someone else dared to outbid you. The third tactic is fear of missing out, or FOMO, and this is seeing these flashy wins that I, for example, just showed you with it can also be an iPhone sold for $19, an Xbox sold for $40, all these different things, and it creates urgency. You feel like now is the time to jump in. The timer resets every time someone bids, so it creates a constant feeling of just one more second, I can still win. Plus, DealDash shows the countdown and user activity in real time. So this creates pressure to act fast and keep spending without thinking it through. So the fourth tactic is the near win effect. So even if you lose, just being close to winning gives your brain a little dopamine hit. And that makes people keep trying even when they're losing bids over and over. So it's designed to keep you emotionally hooked and financially invested. So the last and the fifth tactic you need to be aware of is the micro spending illusion. Each bid only raises the price by 1 cent, which feels tiny and harmless. But behind the scenes, DealDash earns, for example, 14 cents or more per bid, because that is what you pay and others pay per bid, and multiplied by dozens or hundreds of users per item. So the actual cost of that small action is easy to overlook in the moment, especially when you are focused on winning. And these psychological tricks aren't illegal, but they are very effective. So unless you know exactly what you're doing, you are not really shopping, you are gambling. And that's exactly why so many people seem to get sucked in. But let's now go over the part I promised you earlier, the only kind of item I'd ever consider bidding on if I were going to use DealDash again. So the only time DealDash might be worth it, in my opinion, again, this is my personal opinion. If you have another opinion, feel free to share it in the comments below. But in my opinion, then it is an item that meets all of the following conditions. Number one is that you 100% plan to buy that item anyways. So don't just bid because it might be a good deal. If you are already going to spend money on that exact item, like for example a vacuum cleaner or blender, a gaming chair, or whatever it can be, then you're not really gambling with money you didn't plan to spend. So the second condition it should live up to, in my opinion, is that you know the true retail price. So before bidding, check the actual price of the item, for example, on Amazon or other stores, because DealDash sometimes inflates the retail value and you don't want to overpay without realizing it. Number three is that you are willing to use the buy it now as a backup, because they have this button called buy it now, because if you lose the auction, you can buy the item at full price and get your bids back. This only makes sense if the product was one you were ready to buy at full price anyway. Otherwise, you are throwing more money after a loss. And again, make sure you know the actual retail value, so you know the DealDash retail value is not inflated. And the fourth and final one is that you are using discounted or free bids, because in my opinion, if you pay full price for the bids, it can easily become very expensive. So only use promo bids or bids you got through bonuses. It can, for example, be special sales or login streaks, different things, because this lowers your actual cost and it also reduces the risk. So overall, I would say this is only for people who are very strategic and disciplined, not ideal for impulsive users or people who don't understand how the system works. So to sum it all up, yes, you can get good deals on DealDash, but you're just as likely to walk away with nothing if you don't fully understand how it works. It's only worth considering if you treat it more like a strategy game than a shopping site, in my opinion. And if you're not the type to sit and calculate every move, then honestly, you're better off just buying what you need from a regular store or using cashback sites to save money instead, in my opinion. And if you, for example, are interested in cashback sites, I do have a list of my top recommended cashback sites where you don't have to bid or anything like that. I'll leave a link to that below. And also, if you have used DealDash, I would love to hear about your wins and your losses in a comment below. Please feel free to share that. And also, if you have not used it, would you use it? If you would, why would you? If you wouldn't, why would you not use it? And finally, if you're just overall interested in some free ways to earn some extra money online, then I have a free email course you can sign up for. I will leave a link below. You can go there, give your email address, and then over 5 days, you will get tips and tricks about the best ways to earn online for free based on my years of experience online. So make sure to check that out below. And if this video helped you, also make sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video on tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.